I have been a CFL fan my whole life. I've been going to games since I was a child. There's so many reasons why the CFL is so special. That feeling of being at a game is like no other. The fans are excited, and the whole vibe is, well, hard to describe with just words. However, all of this simply wouldn't exist without one thing: the players. Many people don't realize it, but players are like celebrities for football fans. We idolize them, cheer them on, root for them. But sometimes we fail to realize that players are real people, just like you and I. They have highs and lows throughout their lives. Highs include scoring their first professional touchdown, and the lows can be anything from an injury to getting the call saying they've been let go by their team. So what happens when it all comes to an end?
So football has always been in my family. You know, some kids grow up playing hockey and being in a hockey family in Canada, but mine was all football. I started in Burlington and at high school, and then I went down to the States for 2 years. Then I came back up here to the University of Calgary. That's where I did 4 years here. Played with the Dinos, which was an amazing time. And then I was drafted back to Hamilton, the hometown team.
Option play. There's Timmis, who will get down near the 3-yard line.
The dream come true, I guess I'd say. Ever since I was a little kid, I always wanted to play professionally, and to get to that point was a great experience. And yeah, it was amazing, especially to be able to play in front of your hometown and all your friends and family who come to games with season tickets or wearing your jerseys to games. So it was a really cool experience. I think some of the high points would be, there's no greater feeling than after a win with the team in the locker room.
The locker room is the most remarkable place because it's so much fun. The atmosphere with your teammates and the amount of times that you just spend laughing and enjoying their company and building friendships that last for a lifetime. I played 9 seasons. It was a really, really great time in my life. There's this idea that we hear from time to time that the players don't hear the fans or aren't affected by them. I just don't think that's true. I think the energy that you get from the fans is a really important part of the environment that you play in.
Yeah, you had to put your time in and watch film and practice, but it wasn't like a full 8-hour or 10-hour day like you work once you start into the real world. And so, you go in, you watch film, you train, you practice, then you go out with your buddies after. It was just a great, great lifestyle while it lasted.
Yeah, it's a really unique experience, and it's really cool to see the community and support that, people build around the Ticats and the CFL in general.
Guys pounding it in there, playing that position physically. Did a nice job in the preseason as well. Mercer Timmis.
Running down on kickoff, you just can't beat that. Or yeah, it's really cool. Something that I'll always remember.
Mercer suffered from a concussion in 2019 that prevented him from playing and put him on the 6-game injured list. Shortly after, he retired at age 26.
I gave my life to football. Like, it was, when I say it was my dream earlier, like that was, football was everything for me.
29, Hamilton with a 10-minute advantage.
Very, very few players leave the game the way they want to. The game leaves them. My experience would be different than a lot of players just because I was very fortunate to play for quite a long time. There's a timing where you can't do what you used to do. In the CFL, you're not going to retire and never have to work again.
Guys starting to drop or get injured.
It was a long recovery, and couldn't look at screens. I could, it wasn't myself for a few weeks, and said, you know what, I've lived my dream, and I don't know, there's a lot of things after life that I want to do. I think that I was lucky to look at the bigger picture, and football's only a short period of life. So that's why I stopped, and just to kind of take care of my health. That was the ultimate decision. I didn't always know I wanted to be a lawyer, but when I was going into my third season, it's something that I started to think about. And I knew that I wanted something different, but I also wanted that team atmosphere, the strategizing, things that I liked from football, and being part of a team. So law was kind of a natural fit. It's definitely a transition for sure. You feel imposter syndrome quite early on.
The hardest part of law school was where I went to law school. There was a lot of pressure. If you don't get the grades, it's pretty tough to get a job. It's a grind. Law school is tough. You have to study hard and you have to sacrifice. I think the toughest part is just adapting to going from being a professional athlete and doing something you love every day and all that to doing something that is a little bit of a grind, because studying, you have to do it.
Like just being part of a team, like on the daily routine, is so fun, and it's just such a cool experience because you're spending every day with these guys, and some of these guys become some of your closest friends. It's kind of like law school in that sense, and is that like you're grinding and you're going through these things together. I mean, the law can be complex at times. I would say that content-wise, it can become difficult, and I think when you're managing again a lot of classes and schedules and exams, and there's a lot of stress that can come with it, but I wouldn't change a thing. The relationships I've built while at law school have been amazing. I feel like I'm part of a team. It's
short-term sacrifices for long-term benefits. I love being a lawyer now. I've loved my career in the law, and many times there was a couple of early times in my law school career that I was going to just give it up and maybe go do something else. And I had my father give me some good advice, and he said, "Greg, don't do that. It's going to benefit you in the end." And it really has. I'm so glad I made those sacrifices to go to law school, because it gave me a good profession once my career was done. I'm just looking forward to starting my career. I feel like having a little career beforehand, playing football, and then going to law school, I'm ready to start that next career. I'm going to be articling in August, and it's going to be a really, really cool experience. I'm looking forward to it. I know it'll be a lot of work, but I'm hoping to practice in corporate securities, M&A, private equity, that area.
Nobody has a life that is flawless, and nobody has a life that goes the way you want it every single day. We all have moments of stress and challenges and despair. I found that the game helped me. It gave me some strength to be able to deal with those challenging moments, and it continues to do that to this day. And I again, it's one of the reasons why I'm so grateful for my life in the game of football, because I believe it has been instrumental in my life outside of the game of football, instrumental to the successes that I've had.
I feel like at each stage you're happy, and then there's kind of the next thing and the next goal. So I remember even getting drafted. It was okay, I got drafted, now I have to make sure I make the team at training camp. And so there's always that next goal. So I feel like you're kind of always looking forward. I think that when I look back now, I'm super happy and grateful for my career. I'm happy that I was able to do what I wanted to do, and like the goals I had set out to do. And now looking at it, it was a blessing for me to leave and go to law school. It is the best thing that probably ever happened to me.
If you could almost send a message to yourself maybe 5 years from now when you're a lawyer, what would you say?
Oh wow, 5 years from now as a lawyer?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's tough. I think just remember what's important to you in life, and just keep working and keep putting your best foot forward, and control what you can control.
Logan in to protect. Laird gets it away. Intercepted on the far side of the field. It's Laird again. He's going to take it down inside the 30 to the 20 to the 10, and you can give him a big six. Throws it towards the end zone. Intercepted. Sliding over there for the second time today. He didn't get enough on it.